Number 1257 to France landed at the Mulhouse airport and its passengers got down and went to the baggage collection to collect their possession. A tall, well-built boy in a white shirt and blue jeans followed his parents. He had a faraway look in his eyes. The boy was thinking about deep-sea diving, that his uncle and their group might be enjoying while he is struck here. He heaved a deep sigh thinking of all the fun he was missing. He increased his pace, to catch up with his parents who were well ahead. He reached them as they entered the baggage collection doors. Mr. Astill made his way to the rotating belt that was spitting out the luggage of the fellow passengers. Mrs. Astill and the boy went to the corner to wait for him. "You might be tired after the long flight, Seth. Here, take some water," his mother, a young petite lady, said to him as they stood waiting for their bags. "Thanks, Mom, I really feel tired," Seth said as he accepted the bottle of water from his mom. He took a swig of water and gave it back to his mother. "I know, we have been up from the morning, and it's evening now, and this being your first time, this was bound to happen." "I know, Mom, I have studied about all this, it's called jet lag," he started to say and continued, "This happens because we travel against the time when we do intercontinental flights. This affects the natural clock of our body, and that is the reason we feel tired also." He was interrupted by his mother. "Okay, I get the point, I don't want the whole theory, Professor Astill," she said, raising her hand to stop him. Seth stopped with a smile, knowing that continuing now will be futile, for his mother would stop listening to him. By that time Mr. Astill came struggling with their luggage, 2 traveling bags, one red and another brown, and a green backpack. Seth went to his dad and took the backpack. Shouldering it, he took hold of the brown traveling bag. "Thanks, Seth," Mr. Astill said gratefully to his son, relieved of the bag's weight. They came out of the collect point and made their way towards the row of people who were standing at the arrival booth. They joined the queue waiting for their turn. Seth observed the other people in the row as he was standing there waiting for their turn. He saw the lady in the line ahead of him with a toddler up her arm and with her husband ahead, a family for vacation, just like ours, he thought. Then his eyes went over to the lone man standing slightly outside the queue further ahead. He was wearing a black overcoat with the cuff of the collar straight, thus not much of his was seen by anybody. Seth knew better than to think of the guy as some criminal or shady character. He was proven right as he was cleared out of the terminal without even being checked. The couple ahead of him were cleared next, and then came their turn. Mr. Astill produced their passport and gave it to the girl behind the booth. "What is your purpose for coming to France, Mr. Astill?" the girl asked after consulting their passport. She was young and inexperienced. Seth could tell this by the question she had asked, a question always asked by the person behind the booth in any movie. "We are here for holidays," Mr. Astill replied to the girl with a dazzling smile. "Where will you be spending your holidays? Any specific place?" the attendant asked, looking at the trio. Her eyes rested for a moment more on Seth and she blushed a little. Seth saw this but ignored it. He was used to girls looking at him and blushing. "Actually, we were planning to have our holidays in Ease. It's a remote countryside to the southeastern part," Mr. Astill said, continuing with his smile. "What might a remote countryside hold special for your vacation that Paris doesn't have? Why did you choose Ease of all place to spend your vacation?" the girl asked in a suspicious tone. "It's my birthday in a week and I like to spend that time in exotic and peaceful places. Ease fits the bill, so we thought of going there," Seth said before his father could say anything. He said it so smoothly that the girl's blush increased a shade. "Okay, so are you all together?" the girl asked, flabbergasted by Seth's sudden interruption. When she saw them nodding their head to her question, she stamped their passports and gave them back. "Thank you," Mr. Astill said as he took the passport. Then turning to Seth he said, "Off you go, Seth. Here, keep these passports," he said, handing the 3 passports to his son. Seth took the passport and pocketed them. "Happy birthday in advance, Seth," the girl behind the counter said in a low voice as they were about to go. Seth looked up and smiled his thanks. They came out of the airport and stopped, keeping the bag down. Mr. Astill looked at his wife and son. "What do you want to do now? We can take a cab to Ease now if you want, or we can rest at a hotel and then proceed ahead." "Seth is tired, Flynn, so are you and me. Furthermore, the trip to Ease is a long one. We should take rest at a hotel and then go," Mrs. Astill said in a tired voice to her husband. "Okay, let's have some rest," he said, again picking up the traveling bag. They moved towards the cab that was parked in front of them. The cab driver, a teenage lad, was playing on his smartphone. He looked up from it when he saw them coming. Mrs. Astill reached the driver first. "Is there any hotel nearby for lodging?" she asked the boy. "The nearest hotel is a kilometer away. If you want, I can drive you there," the boy offered. "Sure, that will be fine," said Mr. Astill with a nod and started loading up the bags in the back. Mrs. Astill got into the car along with Seth. While Mr. Astill was settling the bag, the boy helped him. When the bags were secured, they got into the car. The cab boy started the car and sped away to the heart of the city. Seth, who was on the window seat, saw all the glamour and lights of the city and the busy street with people around. Seth has only ever seen such kind of places in movies. Though he likes to visit other places during his birthdays, he has never been abroad before. They would mostly visit places around India for their travels. This year was different though, not only because he was going to be attending college but also because of the change in their book syllabus, which has resulted in the late reopening of their colleges. This had meant that he would have extra times for his birthdays, thus the family has decided to go outside the country to celebrate his birthday. This was a new experience for him and he had decided that he would make the most of it. He was enjoying the trip, even though it has not even started yet. He missed his group. The group of his uncle and his gang. His uncle was the reason that nobody in his school would challenge or harass him. He was a master fighter, excelled in various arts of fighting, karate, judo, boxing, taekwondo, muay thai, and other that we would have difficulty pronouncing the name. He himself never used this power to harass someone, but it also helped him to stay safe. For this, all the thanks goes to his uncle. When he had told them about this, all the group was happy for him, until Jack had playfully jibbed him about him doing this because he feared deep water. That was when he remembered that they had the plan to go deep-sea diving. How could he forget the deep-sea diving? He was the one who had suggested that they go deep-sea diving, to see if Jack's new gadget really worked or not. He has forgotten, and that was what mattered. His uncle has saved him by telling that he was not afraid of deeps, but that didn't lessen any remorse he was feeling. Seth jocked out of his thought as he felt the car stop. He looked out of the window to see that they were in the parking area of a hotel. The hotel building could be seen from the opposite window. It didn't match the beauty of the city at all. Moreover, it looked like a ramshackle building that had fallen in despair. The building had patches on the outer walls that needed serious repair. There were woods behind the hotel. Animal noises and owl hoots could be heard clearly. Seth sighed as they got out of the car. This was going to be a very long night.